you need to have models work for you. Like, for example, you think about this, and this is something that we have experienced in the past, where we looked at the current state of models, when we did the assessment, and we looked at how the generic models are creating forecasts, right? In this particular case, you can clearly see that there is a marked seasonality, in a specific month of the year, somewhere in the summertime. But then, the models that were in practice did not have the seasonality captured correctly. The seasonality was muted substantially, and in a number of cases, initially the model was giving flat forecasts, right? So after we did the model tuning, right, obviously we were able to restore the seasonality because the models were set to specific patterns, and the models were set up by SKU. So really, I think this goes a long way. I think when you look at it, it just seems obvious. If you're just modeling this one SKU, it's easy, right? You know that you will pick a specific model. But in the overall scheme of things, when you have 20,000 plus products, how do you make sure that through model tuning and the engine tuning that you can get to where we are? Okay. So you need to develop APO models to the business need, right? So if you think about models could be, based on regular demand, and this is how APO classifies it. And, it could be regular demand or irregular demand. So when you talk about regular demand, you need to look at product patterns, and then you see the product pattern could be either constant, trend, season, trend plus season, or life cycle, right? Life cycle is the extreme. So these are the basic components, constant, trend, and season, and the combination of these. And the last one is the life cycle planning. Okay. Okay. So when you think about constant models, right? Constant models, SAP offers two different types of strategies, right? You could use either moving averages, or you could use first order exponential smoothing, or simple exponential smoothing. Trend models, you could have second order exponential smoothing, or linear regression models, which SAP calls a strategy 94. And seasonal models, use strategy 31, right, which gives you a seasonal, captures a seasonal pattern. And the last one is linear regression. Linear regression allows you to just basically use a simple linear regression based on a deterministic time trend and allow you to capture models. So these are different alternative routes you can take to fit the right model to the data. And then finally, SAP also allows advanced models through Holt-Winters models. And here again, a substitute would be to use linear strategy. So really, when you talk about model tuning or model selection process, what we are talking about is people, planners, looking at different menu of models and then being able to choose a specific model for the SKU or for the family that they are modeling currently. And finally, SAP allows you to do trend dampening, so that you can adjust the life cycle. So when you have trend is not going to be infinite, right? Trend will taper off over the long run. So this is where you would be using trend dampening profiles. And that is also possible through both trend dampening profiles, and SAP also allows in version 7 what is called as a fee parameter that allows you to dampen the trend much more elegantly. Okay. And then finally, you have intermittent demand. For intermittent demand, you could use what is called as a cross-sense model, which works pretty well. And SAP allows the option of using either a sporadic forecast or a forecast that's pretty much a straight line. Okay. And then you could also have, if your demand does not classify into the regular or intermittent, you can use judgment-based methodologies. You can use a manual forecast or a forecast that really copies the history and puts it into the future, right? So these are different modeling strategies that are available in SAP.